Hey guys, Tylertanium here. This is so I just hit level 120 in World of Warcraft. The expansion came out a little less than a week ago, and just kind of wanted to give my initial thoughts on my whole experience through these next 10 levels. So maybe if you're somebody that used to play World of Warcraft, or you're thinking about getting this next expansion and aren't sure, maybe this kind of commentary will help you make a decision based on that. So I guess I just kind of want to talk about my likes about what I've done with the whole leveling experience so far, maybe some things I didn't like so much, and then my overall opinion. So just getting right into it, the things I liked, obviously I think the biggest thing is that it's very, very fast-paced. Again, the expansion came out less than a week ago. I play maybe for a couple hours every day, and I'm already level cap. So I think that's kind of cool. So you're able to get to the end game content a lot quicker. The zones in this expansion are very well designed visually. Move my mouse out of the way. They're very well designed visually. Like I'm just flying zone to zone right now, and they're so aesthetically pleasing. This is so beautiful, and Blizzard does a really good job of making the new zones just look a lot better than like the previous expansions. Going off the zones, the pacing of the zone quests I think is really cool. Go ahead and fly again. The pacing of the zone quests is done very well. There's, I think, 7 stories in the 3 new zones, and getting to 120, I was able to do all except like 2 of them. So there's still like 2 more for me to do, but it's the fact that I'm able to get through most of them before I get to the level, or for me to get to level cap, I think says a lot about just how well the pacing's done with the levels. There's no flying mounts, at least not yet. They're doing another Pathfinder achievement like they did in Legion. There's going to be 2 parts to it, but for now, there's no flying mounts, which I really like. It kind of brings back that kind of classic World of Warcraft experience where the only way you'd be able to, especially in the PvP, since the only way you'd be able to like get around is on foot or on like a regular ground mount. I just remember like Burning Crusade when the flying mounts were introduced, and say you're level 62 or whatever, level cap 70, and you're just like running around, and all of a sudden a level 70 is flying above you and sees you. You're not getting away from him if he wants to kill you, because even if you happen to get away, they can just mount back up and go after you again and just fly faster than you can run. So that's basically it. So I like the idea of no flying mounts. I kind of wish that they didn't have flying mounts like at all in the expansion. I kind of wish they would just kind of be a thing of the past, but I know that's not going to happen. I really like the idea of war mode. Basically, you instead of like PvP, PvE servers, you get to turn on a mode like in your capital city, and that turns on like your PvP flag basically. So if you're leveling and you see someone from the other faction, you're able to attack them, they're able to attack you, and it's a lot of fun that way. I enjoy it, and you get a 10% bonus XP if you have it on. So that's kind of like the bonus of having it on. If you're wondering like, well, why wouldn't I just turn it off to level? That's why. The mobs in this expansion, they kind of have in the past expansions too, but it's like all the name mobs for like quests and stuff like that, they have abilities, which like they have mechanics too. So like you have to interrupt things, like you have to interrupt abilities that the enemy has just so they don't do like a ton of damage to you. You have to like move away from like stuff that they're about to do to the ground, like they set the ground like on fire or something like that. Kind of like a little like mini raid boss mechanic. It's kind of cool, instead of just like, go kill this guy with a name. He's nothing special. He just has maybe a little bit more health. Nothing crazy. He just has a name. The mobs that you need, and they've done stuff like this like already, but I just really like the idea of it. I'm just gonna keep running back and forth on the flying mount. I really like that you don't have to tag the mobs anymore. I think that's just a really neat feature that they've implemented with the game. Whoops. And that's cool too. So before, like, if I'm going back to like Classic WoW, say like there's some ogre, like one specific ogre drops like a, I don't know, a let's say a sword that you need for a quest, and you're waiting for the next spawn for that one specific guy, because you have to be the one to hit him first, otherwise it won't be your kill. And and nobody back then was like really, some people were pretty nice about like taking turns, but some people just roll up, they could be the last one there, and then they try to get the kill first. But now anybody, as long as you hit the mob that you need, you're going to get credit for the kill, which I think is really cool. So it kind of takes away that competition for like quests that obviously everyone's trying to complete. And then going off of quest mobs, you get a queue to do group quests now. So like all the quests that say like suggested players 3, suggested players 5, they have an implemented finder to like find people also doing that quest, which it's basically like a dungeon finder for quest. So it's kind of cool, so you don't have to like spam chat for like hours just to get a group for all those like Stranglethorn hunting quests back in the day with like Bangladesh and stuff like that. What else? The zones level with you, which is probably one of my favorite features. So like if you level, like if I'm leveling 110 to 120, I get to see like the levels around me grow too. So like if I'm in a zone, I level from 112 to 113, all the monsters around me also increase a level too. So it's pretty neat. I'm a big fan of that. And it's the same with like the lower ones too, like say like Dustwall and Marsh, like all those like original classic zones, they all go to like level 60 now, I think. So it's cool. So you can level basically wherever you want and it'll go with you as long as it's like within the level range you're trying to achieve. Now I guess some things I didn't like so much. For at least for the Horde, it's trolls the entire time, which is cool at first. Like I like the troll storyline, but sometimes it gets a little excessive, because that's like basically what you're doing the entire time. So going off that, like my next thing that I didn't like so much was that the leveling experience, it wasn't really memorable to me. Like, again, it was just trolls the entire time. There was a couple quests that stuck out to me. Like there's a quest that a kid basically has to get, or a kid gets sacrificed by her mom for the troll death god in this expansion, and you get to like get revenge on that kid's mom, and it's pretty interesting. There's also like a Planet of the Apes section, so there's like some interesting quests, but a lot of them, like, they don't really like stick out to me. They're not, a lot of them are just like kill these trolls and pick up these plants while you're at it too. And if I could compare that to like classic World of Warcraft, like if you played classic, you basically remember like all of the monsters that you fight to like get basically from 1 to 6. Like you can remember like fighting all those like wolves in Elwyn Forest. You can remember fighting like the elementals in Arathi Islands, stuff like that. And honestly, you could probably name like every single zone that you leveled through in classic, like every single zone on both of those continents, Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms. But this expansion, there's 3 leveling zones. Without looking at the map, I know 2 of them. I know Vol'dun and I think Nazmir are the 2 that I could think of. Let's see if I'm even right. Yeah, we got Vol'dun. And did I get that one? Yeah, Nazmir and Zuldazar. Oops. But anyways, so what wasn't really a memorable experience for me. So hopefully the endgame content's gonna be better, but I'm sure it is. There's not a lot of opportunity to change your spec with your class. Basically, I think there's an Azerite gear type system where it's basically you level your necklace, which is essentially your artifact of this expansion, and the more levels you get with the artifact necklace, the abilities you can put on your whatever gear you get, but they go with your spec, and you can't change them. At least as far as I know, you can't change them. So, say I'm a rogue, so I get the choice between outlaw, subtlety, and assassination. I win assassination, and like all of the abilities basically like affect mutilate and just like assassination specific abilities. So those don't really affect my other specs, so there's no point of me really using that gear and other specs. So I'm basically stuck leveling assassination for 10 levels, which isn't a problem, because you're able to get new gear like once you hit level cap from dungeons and such. So it also is just kind of like, this expansion just kind of seems like, at least the leveling is in almost like an extended tutorial to me about getting used to your class, which is good and bad, because there's two different mindsets to where people think that the leveling should be like how you get a feel for your class, and then once you hit the end game, it's like, okay, I know how my class goes now. But on the other side of the coin, you have, I feel like leveling, you should already be used to like the class like at some point, and then like end game is just like you should be above like just getting used to your class, I guess. I don't know, but that's I guess that's just like kind of something to think about. And I guess the biggest thing that I'm not a huge fan of is that there's not a lot of PvP. I don't know, I feel like this expansion was really geared towards the PvP aspect, especially like world PvP. So they have this war mode, and I don't know, I feel like I can count the amount of people on the other faction that I've actually seen from my journey up to 120. And I was able to like fight some people, kill some people. I don't think they ever killed me, but maybe they did. I'm sure someone probably did. But I don't know, I wish there was just more of that. Like, it's kind of fun just being able to do like PvP while you're leveling. That was kind of a big thing like back in the day in Stranglethorn Vale. Like, that was just PvP. It was 50% PvP, 50% like actually doing your quests. Like, you would find someone or someone would find you, and like, I don't know, it was a tough time, but it made the game like really challenging and really worth it once you finally like got out of that zone, So I guess my overall opinion, like, would I recommend Battle for Azeroth? I would at least give it a shot. I definitely would recommend it for like at least to give it a chance, I don't think it's an expansion that's like, no, don't even touch it, because in my opinion there's definitely been worse times but in the game. But I'm having fun though, like, it's still a fun expansion. There's just some like little improvements that can be made, but overall I like it, and I think that everybody should probably be able to give it a chance at least. But yeah, so if you like this video, leave a like, and go ahead and leave a comment too, just saying why you agree with some stuff I said, or maybe why you disagree, or just like your overall thoughts on leveling in Battle for Azeroth so far too, or just like your thoughts over the expansion overall. If you want to follow me on Twitch, my Twitch is twitch.tv/Tylertanium. My Twitter is @RealTylertanium. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.